everyone, it's Essie here with a scrapbook process video for Lottie Loves Paper National Scrapbooking Day Challenge and YouTube Hop. That's a bit of a mouthful. So over in the Lottie Loves Paper Facebook group, we've got a sketch challenge running and the design team have created samples for that challenge, and we have a collection of videos for you to hop around and have a look at our samples. So there is a prize. One will be chosen at random from all of those who visit and comment on all of the videos. And then there will be another prize chosen from the sketch layout and entries in the Lottie Loves Paper community Facebook group. So just to say, 2 chances to win: create a layout and pop it in the album in the Lottie Loves Paper Facebook group, hop around the videos from the design team and comment on all of them, and that's a second chance to win a prize. The hop video links will be in the description underneath this video. So as you can see, while I've been nattering on, I have used some Vicky Boughton mixed media cardstock to create my background, which I'm now actually not going to use as a background. I'm chopping it up to use the panels to form the shape of my grid. And I've used water-soluble crystals to create that lovely watercoloured effect on those panels. I've used a combination of Brushos, Nuvo shimmer powders and Colourburst powders. And now they're dry and I've cut them into equal panels. I'm using Ranger texture paste to apply through some Vicky Boughton stencils to add some extra texture. I'm using 3 stencils, so 2 panels in each design. This is my favourite of the stencils, the one with the script on. And last panel there, and I'm just going to pick out a couple of the words that I want to highlight, and just taking off the excess from around those words. Now that stencil paste is dry, I really wish that things would dry that quickly in real life. Not a very patient crafter. I'm using some stamps, and these again are from the Vicky Boughton Colour Study collection. And this is the collection that I'm going to be using for this layout. I don't actually use any of the papers, but I've got lots of ephemera and stickers to build up clusters and layers onto my grid once the panels are in place. But for now, I'm using archival inks to add some extra details onto those mixed media panels. I've got a blue and a green, sticking with those combination of colours. And choosing some different designs of stamps. Got some florals and that pretty leaf spray. Got some splodges and words. And then on the final 2 panels, I just use some little stars and an arrow. There's 2 stars on the stamp set. One is a solid stamp and the other is an outline. So I've used them one on top of the other in the 2 colours. And then just used the arrow as well. I'm stamping on top of the texture paste. That works really well with the Ranger texture paste, I find. I've not tried it with any others, but it does work well with the Ranger. And just using that ink pad around the edges of the panels, which I also distressed just using my scissors to give a bit more texture as well. Using a ruler to line up the panels to form the grid. Not very good at doing this sort of thing by eye. And with a grid, obviously, it's really noticeable if one of them's slightly off. So doing the best I can to get them measured and in place. Using foam sheets on the back to add some dimension. I put foam on all 3 panels in that row to start with, but then decide that actually I want some variation in the dimensions. So I take it back off the middle one and have the middle one lying flat, and then just use the middle panel on the other row is raised and the two outer ones are flat, just to give a little bit of variation. Now I've trimmed the white cardstock down to about 11 by 11 inches and using some double-sided tape to pop it onto that patterned 12 by 12. That's a Vicky Booton, but it's not from Colour Study, it's from one of her previous collections, but it was the one that kind of blended the colours, went with the colours on my layout. And the eagle-eyed among you will spot that I didn't gut the middle. I always gut the middle of my patterned paper that I'm using for frames, but I must have been too absorbed in what I was doing and I forgot. So I'll have to try and get some of that paper out of the middle on the back with it in place. I've used some Heidi Swap Colour Shine Gold ink spray to add some splatters, and while that's drying I've just added some foam to the back of my photographs, and I've now got the Speciality vellum sheet that I'm cutting those circles from. I'm just cutting some circles from the edge. They're not full circles, but I know that I'm going to probably be tucking them in under other things, so I'm not worried about the fact that I haven't got full circles. Just choosing the positioning for my photographs and using silicone glue gel to stick those in place. Overlapping them slightly. Obviously those mixed media panels are forming very clear lines of the grid, but now I'm going to be adding over the top, overlapping and moving things, flowing from one panel to the next, so it all kind of joins up. Just cutting out one of the cards from the cut apart sheet. It's got that sort of clipboard image on, which I'm fussy cutting, and I should be popping some journaling on that. And I'm not very good at journaling. I should write more on my scrapbook layouts. I sometimes just kind of write names and dates and that's it. Really ought to try and make myself write a bit more. Having a look at the ephemera that I've picked from the ephemera packs and starting to play with the positioning and the pieces that I want to use on my layout. Just tucking things in without gluing them down, just to see how they work and if I'm happy with them. I'm going to be using that piece for my title, Loving This Life of Mine. It's got the gold foiling on the smaller words. And that will tie in with the gold ink that I've splattered, and I shall add some extra gold details as well, just to add a little bit of shine. Fussy cutting that. I've stuck it on a sheet, just on a scrap of white cardstock, because I love the vellum look, but I thought it was getting lost a bit on the mixed media background, so I've stuck it on a sheet of white card to bring it out a bit and make it a bit more prominent as it's my title. Going to add some foam to the back to raise it up as well. Just getting the positioning right, making sure I put the foam where I need it. And sticking that down, and I'm going to pop that camera in behind there too. Loving that lime green. Starting to stick some of the other elements down now. I've positioned most of the bigger elements that I think I'm going to be wanting to use, and so I'm just popping them in place before I start adding some of the smaller things. I've added a little bit of journaling to that clipboard, so that's now in place. And those are the bigger pieces stuck down. Just having a look to see what else I want to add in around the grid. I want something to just pull it off the edge a little bit. I think I'm going to settle with that circle there. I keep picking those cardboard, they're sort of perforated perforated word strips even, and I keep picking them up and looking at them, and I'm determined to use them somewhere. Gone with that chipboard strip there, sense of humour required. It's definitely the case. These photos are myself and Pete, my partner, just taking some silly selfies before going down to dinner in our hotel on holiday, or back when we were allowed to have holidays, and trying to get a sensible photograph with him is nigh on impossible. So you definitely need a sense of humour. He always ends up being a bit silly. There's one of those cardboard word strips again, bringing it in there, capture it all. And there are the sticker book from the same collection. This is as I said, all the Vicky Booton colour study collection available from Lottie Loves Paper. And there's a whole sheet of word stickers in that colour study sticker book. Just trimming the edges off that because it was a little bit long. I actually end up moving it in the end, but I don't know that at the time. So I've just trimmed the edges of it off to fit in that space. Looking to see what else I'm going to use. I do love word strips. Just lovely little details. Adding those in. There we go, moving that one. Tucking it in under the title. Want something in that top left hand corner. I've got the chipboard strip and the vellum circle on that bottom right corner. So I need something to balance that top left. So just having a play with some of the bits and pieces to see what will work. And I'm going to go with that blue chipboard sticker. Now I'm moving on to the puffy phrase thicker sheet. There's some lovely phrases, and these are matte black, which is really nice as well. I'm not using any of the words, but I'm just using some of the hearts and the gold arrows that are dotted around between the words, just for extra little accents. Toyed with the idea of adding some little tiny gold chipboard stickers, but decided against that for now. And then I'm tucking that circle in up the top. Needed to bring some colour up to that top left hand corner. I've obviously got the heart in the middle there, and I've got the words on my title that are multicoloured. Needed something to bring some other colours in up the top left to balance that all out. Got my Nouveau drops going in with that lime green. Eventually, when I can get it to come out the bottle. Just doing 3 little clusters of Nouveau drops. I think I do green, yellow and pink in a group of 3. And then my final finishing touch are these adorable little puffy stickers. I just love them. They're so cute. You get 2 of these sheets in a packet, and I bought 2 packets because I kind of just knew that I was going to want to use them all the time, and that if I didn't buy 2, I would wish I had. So just adding those in, dotting them around the layout to add in those little extra confetti details. And that's my layout finished. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to hop around and see all the fabulous designs from my Lottie Loves Paper design teammates, and look forward to seeing your entries in the Facebook challenge album. Bye for now.